Good morning, dear friends in Lanesia. So I'm speaking this morning to you about patience. The world prizes various expressions of human love, especially patience. It is humorously expressed in a saying, patience is a virtue. Possess it if you can, rarely found in a woman, never found in a man. And on 9th of December, Betty and I will be celebrating our diamond wedding anniversary. And I can verify that that statement carries some weight. Google qualifies it further by adding, when you accept the position of responsibility, don't be surprised by the troubles, problems, disappointments and misunderstandings that go with it. This is good. And it reminds us that patience is so much more than gritting your teeth or biting your lip when under severe provocation to badly react. In an early episode of the Star Wars series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Knight, is mentoring his young would-be Jedi warrior. Young Skywalker has a warning, patience, my young Padawan. That's a far-off galaxy term for apprentice. Skywalker did not heed his instruction, and his impatience turned this young ward of Obi-Wan Kenobi into Darth Vader, the arch-villain whose lust for vengeance turned him to the dark side. The world desperately needs to see real evidence of the Holy Spirit's fruit of patience or long-suffering in the disciples of Jesus Christ. In Galatians 5:22-23 in the Passion Translation, which I quite like, we read, "But the fruit or harvest produced by the Holy Spirit within you is divine love in all its varied expressions, joy that overflows, peace that subdues, patience that endures, kindness in action, a life full of virtue, faith that prevails, gentleness of heart, and strength of spirit. Never set the Lord above these qualities, for they are meant to be limitless." Now this spiritual fruit which the Holy Spirit grows and develops in us is better translated in the Greek that Paul uses, the word macrothumia, a compound word of macros and thumos, taken from a verb that means ever tapping into or never quitting from. And this endearing and enduring fruit is exemplified by Jesus Christ's own patience. Now we can read that, for example, in Hebrews 5, verse 6-9. "You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with vehement cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear, though he was a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And having been perfected, he became the author of eternal salvation to all who obey him." Long-suffering illustrates an aspect of love that is wonderfully revealed in 1 Corinthians 13, where God's Spirit manifests God's love, which suffers long and is kind, bears all things, hopes all things, endures all things, never fails. Surely this is a degree of patience more noble and greater than we can imagine. It will take a lifetime of godly living by the Holy Spirit for his transformative work to make us like God's beloved Son, our King Jesus. In Colossians 3:12, Paul lists the Lord's commands to Christian disciples. "Put on, therefore, as elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering." And the true understanding of patience is that it is a divine virtue. If we are going to dress properly each day, we have to make a choice. Reach into the Holy Spirit's closet of grace and get dressed with long-suffering or patience, because that garment won't put itself on you. And when you do so, along with all of the other divine qualities your new divine nature must be clothed with. If you choose not to take time to put on this agape love fruit of long-suffering and walk in it supernaturally, you won't naturally be able to do so. Taking this thought to its majestic conclusion from Hebrews chapter 12, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. May grace and peace be with you and all the saints in CRC.